Hello baritone players! Welcome to week 2. We are going to be working on our playing again, long tones, extra notes. We're going to throw an extra note onto our 5 notes to bring us up to 6. And then we are going to talk about some pieces today. These being pieces in your red book. So I have a scanned copy of the book right here, but you need to have this sitting in front of you while you do this lesson. You all have this book, you all should have this book. If you do not have the book, you need to email me and I might be able to send you a PDF copy for now. But that won't be able to have you write in it. Now, we need to first off find the very first note we learnt. So let me grab my pencil over here, go to markup, and then find our B flat. We know this was the first note we learned. Now your fingering chart on the very first page of your book has every note that a baritone can play in a normal range, or a euphonium for that matter. But this is where we start. We're not going up to the lower notes. We're going to continue from B flat. Our second note is C. Our third note is D. Our first note is E flat, because we are in the key of B flat major. Then our fifth note is F. These are the notes we've learned so far, right? Last week when we worked on the fingering chart, I had little circles filled in with dots. This has numbers, so we're going to start using numbers. 0 just means nothing is pressed. 1 and 3 means that the first and third valve are pressed. Does not mean 13. And 1 and 2 mean the first 2 valves are pressed. 1 just means the first valve is pressed. So let's find our very first note, our B flat. Match pitch. Second note is our C. It says 1 and 3, so match pitch. There we go. Third note is D. That is 1 and 2, match pitch. Fourth note is E flat, just your first finger. Is F, which is open. Same as the B flat, but just higher up. Remember, drop your jaw, more air. Great. Today we are also going to add on one more note, which is our G, over here. This G, you can see, says 1 and 2, right? First and second fingers. So it is the same fingering as our B flat C, D. It's the same fingering as our D, but it's just higher. So remember, pull your jaw in, quicker air, higher up. This is what it sounds like. So pause me, rewind me, match that note until you get it. Those are the notes we're going to be working with today. Now, once you have that, go to your Metronome app. Set it to 80 beats per minute like normal, and give me 8 beats of each note, 8 beats of rest, all the way up to your new note, G. 1, 2, ready. Remember, big air. 5, 6, 7. So there it is with 6 notes. We are 2 notes away from having a whole octave right there. We will get the whole octave down over the coming classes. That note might be a little difficult for you to reach. Keep working at it. Don't be afraid to use more air. It is always good to put more air in as you figure things out. If you're going to hit a loud, bad note, make sure you at least hit it. Don't be afraid of making wrong notes. Now, I want you to pause me, go back, play that up and down a couple times with a metronome at 80 beats per minute. If you want to slow it down so the notes are longer at 60, if you feel like your lungs can handle that, that's great. If you submitted your 5-note scale to me last week, you do not need to submit it to me again with the 6th note. If you didn't send me your video last week and you have your instrument, you will need to record me that 6-note scale now instead of the 5 notes. For every week that I don't have a video, I will add a note onto that scale. Now, I want you to go back to your book. Swipe back to the book. Come on. There we go. Back to our book. Scroll down or flip your page to page 8 and focus on these 4 right here. Number 17, 18, 19, and 20, right? So, I'm going to set my instrument down because we're going to talk for a little bit. We need to talk about notation. You read a little bit in class with Miss Megan, and we are going to be reading a lot in class with me as a brass player. You, as a low brass player specifically, should remember you are in bass clef, which means that your lines are different than everyone else's. You're used to hearing E, G, B, D, F. Every good burger deserves fries, is what Miss Megan was teaching in class. That is true for treble clef, but you are in a different clef, which means your lines spell different things. So in bass clef, you spell G, B, D, F, A. That's maybe good burgers deserve fries always. I always learned it as good boys deserve fudge always. Whichever way you're going to remember it best. So we know that those are the lines. This is your book you have, so you can write in it. So write down that, make sure you're used to seeing it. It will become more and more fluent as you do it. So we're going to trace from our first note right here. We know it's on the 1, 2, 3, 4th line up. So we're going to take that and trace the line back to find that it is an F. So we're going to write F above this note. And then we trace this line back with our eyes, see that this note is a D, right? So I'm going to write D above it. And then we're back to an F, F, D, F, F, D, E flat, because see, we know D to E in the alphabet are right next to each other. So we're going up 1 space. So we know they're alphabetically right next to each other. A, B, C, D, E, and this is a flat symbol. So we know it's an E flat, right? Then back to F, F, D, F, D, F, rest, D, rest, F, F, D, E flat, rest, F, D, right? So we have that written down. Should kind of look like that. You have all of the notes, you know what pitches they are. But then we need to talk about rhythm. We have read a lot of rhythm in class, so I expect you to be able to do this. It's tas and ta-ahs. There are no TTs in this one. So 1, 2, ready, go. Ta-ah, ta-ah, ta-ta, ta-ah. Ta, 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 rest, ta, rest, ta, 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 rest, ta, ta, right? Now that you know the rhythm and the notes, we're going to find that first note, which is an F. And then we're going to find our second note, which is a D. And we're going to find the only other note in the piece, which is an E flat. And now we have all the tools to play it. So, practice with me, listen to me do it once. One thing I'm going to point out before I start is also these fancy little commas. Those are breath marks. Those are telling you where you can breathe. Obey them. You can only breathe where there is a breath mark or a rest. So nobody's going to stop you breathing during a rest. You shouldn't breathe every rest, but do what's comfortable. You do have to breathe when there is a breath mark though. So I've marked right there a few options for breathing. Do not breathe where it doesn't tell you to. Ready? 1, 2, ready. Make sure you're using your tongue to separate the notes. Ta, 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 not ta, 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 ta. You should not be breathing between every note. This is something you will get more and more used to. Now, I want you to go through In a Minor Mood, Hot Cross Buns, and Go Tell Aunt Rhody with the same technique we just used to analyze Rain, Rain. So write the notes above the heads. Sometimes they just straight up tell you what note it is, so that can help you check in on yourself and make sure you're using the right ones. This week, I will tell you on the Google Classroom which one of these I would like you to record for homework. I'm not going to tell you right now. I will decide later because I want you to practice all 4 of them. They are only 8 measures long and they only contain those 3 notes. So this should not be too difficult to get on board with. It's really just an exercise in reading. So I will play all 3 of the ones I haven't played yet, just so you have them in your ears, and then I will leave you to go and do your work. So here's In a Minor Mood. Let's find our first note. It is an E flat. 1, 2, ready. Got stuck there for a second. Hot Cross Buns. You've played this one before, starting on D. 1, 2, ready. Lastly, Go Tell Aunt Rhody. Our first note is the same note as Hot Cross Buns. It's D. 1, 2, ready. So those are the 4 pieces I would like you to rehearse this week. I will tell you which one to record on the Google Classroom. Email me if you have any questions. I'll be on Google Hangouts as well. I will talk to you during our next Zoom session. Bye.